Communications Director of the National Democratic Congress, Sammy Gyamfi, has called or described as sycophantic the comments by the Chief Justice Gertrude Tokono on President Akufo-Addo's track record as a lawyer. The Chief Justice, at the inauguration of the 2024 Africa Conference of the International Association of Women Judges, described the first gentleman as Ghana's foremost lawyer whose belief in the rule of law has been evident during his tenure as president. She added that the Judicial Service of Ghana has been a beneficiary of the exceptional level of physical and technological infrastructure. But Communications Officer of the NDC, Sammy Gyamfi, said in a social media post that President Akufo-Addo himself will disagree with the Chief Justice's testimony, and such comments should ordinarily be reserved for party foot soldiers. Now, the National Communications Officer of the NDC, Sammy Gyamfi, joins us via phone for a conversation on this. Welcome to the bulletin. The Chief Justice is the head of Ghana's judiciary. Why would you describe her comments as sycophantic? Hello, Sammy Gyamfi, if you can hear me, good morning. Welcome to the bulletin. Okay, I can't seem to hear Sammy Gyamfi on the phone line, but we'll work the phone lines and try and get him and have a conversation with him, because he has disagreed with the comments that were made by the Chief Justice as regards the president's track record. The Chief Justice had earlier lauded the president for his immense contribution to the judicial systems of this country. She believed that the president had done a pretty good job, but this is something that he takes exception to. The Chief Justice is quoted as saying that President Akufo-Addo is a lawyer and a champion of justice, and his name is definitely hatched in the legal history of this country as the most distinguished legal practitioner. His belief in the rule of law has been evident during his tenure as president. But you heard, of course, Sammy Gyamfi, or you've seen Sammy Gyamfi's tweet on your screen now, where he says that President Akufo-Addo himself will disagree with the testimony coming from the CJ, and he describes the comments of the CJ as sycophantic. We're still trying to work the line to have a conversation with him as regards this particular subject matters, and when we have that, we'll bring it to you here on Newsroom.
This President Akufo-Addo so much that she's already to heap unfounded praises on him, praises that the president himself will disagree with because he knows them to be false. We are talking about a president who has been an enemy of the rule of law. He's waged a war against the rule of law in this country, and for the Chief Justice to describe this president as an example of the rule of law is completely unacceptable. This is the president under whose tenure a certain Auditor General was forcibly removed from office against the Constitution. The Supreme Court have held the Rambo-style removal of Yawodum Levo of office as Auditor General to be unconstitutional. How can the man who did this despicable, lawless act, be described by the Chief Justice as an example of the rule of law? We are talking about a man under whose tenure a court of competent jurisdiction was attacked by hoodlums belonging to his party. I'm talking about members of the intelligence forces of the New Patriotic Party who attacked the Kumasi, KMA court. A pregnant judge who was presiding at the time for her life. Instead of the president ensuring that the perpetrators were prosecuted and punished, he left them off the hook by directing his Attorney General to enter Nali prosecute. How can this man who supervised this attack on a court of competent jurisdiction in good conscience be described as an example of the rule of law? This is the same President Akufo-Addo under whose tenure innocent citizens were brutalized and some maimed in the hours of by-election. He is the same man who supervised the murder of 8 innocent Ghanaians during the 2020 elections. Till date, he has not uttered a word of condemnation of any of these atrocities perpetrated against civilians by state-sponsored goons of it. Neither has he compensated the victims. And the Chief Justice says that he's what? About she should respectfully reserve these kind of bootlicking, sycophantic, praise-singing comments for MPP party soldiers. She occupies a very important position, which is supposed to be independent. And this statement coming from her does not engender confidence in the independence of the judiciary at all. Not only is the statement false and contrived, the statement also undermines public trust in the independence of the judiciary. How can anybody say that President Akufo-Addo is the most reputable legal practitioner in Ghana? Who adjudged him the most reputable legal practitioner in Ghana? By what standards? You understand? So clearly, I don't know what this Chief Justice sought to achieve by making these frivolous, unfounded, contrived, testimonies about the president. We are saying that we are totally disappointed and that the claims made by the Chief Justice are not borne out by the facts and cannot be justified by the experience we've had with President Akufo-Addo in the last 7.5 years that he's been president of Ghana.
But that's the fact that she's the Chief Justice. The fact that she's the Chief Justice. Should there be anything wrong with her extolling one of what some people describe as Ghana's legal luminaries? Because I'm pretty sure if you pick some of the Ghana law reports, you see cases that President Akufo-Addo has done over the years. So, would it be wrong for anyone to describe the president as an astute lawyer and someone who has contributed immensely to the development of law in this country?
But the law reports are full of decided cases, important decided cases to our jurisprudence. And all those cases were prosecuted by lawyers. And so the law report is full of the names of lawyers. Is Akufo-Addo the only lawyer whose name is in the Ghana law report? How many times has the law report cites the cases that he did as lawyer? How many times? If it is the Tufo versus Attorney General case that we cite in constitutional law, he was lawyer in the case with Chachuchi Kata. Give me other examples. Is he the only lawyer whose cases have been reported in the Ghana law report? No, that is neither here nor there. Okay? Look, we are not saying that because she's Chief Justice, she cannot extol the virtues of Akufo-Addo. No. But any such exercise must be based on facts. And you can say that President Akufo-Addo is an example of the rule of law, where when we can see clearly the conduct of this man being contrary to what you're saying. Is it not the same president under whose tenure many anti-corruption investigative journalists have been harassed, intimidated, brutalized, some tortured, and even some murdered under his tenure? What happened to Ahmed Swale? And what was his crime? His crime was that he worked with Anas, the man that the Akufo-Addo promised to use his principle to fight corruption in 2016, in exposing the former president of the Ghana Football Association, who claimed at the time that the president was in his pocket and was all over the place, peddling influence and defrauding people by false pretenses and all that. Because of this, Anas was threatened, Ahmed Swale was threatened, their photos were published. The president was here, he did nothing about it. Ahmed Swale was murdered in court. Well,
but the appropriate authorities are investigating, still say they are investigating the murder of Ahmed Swale.
So as the president is also the investigation about that incident. But when Kennedy Japan was sitting on TV, threatening Ahmed Swale with harm and death, he boldly stated publicly that he was doing that in defense of President Akufo-Addo. Because Ahmed Swale and Anas, according to him, were bad boys who wanted to expose the president. And that it was the president they were actually looking for He wanted to swim. So he did whatever he did. The threat of harm, the threat of death, all
Right.
in the name and for and on behalf of Akufo-Addo. Did you
Right.
condemn it? What happened to your own colleague at City, Caleb Kuda? The national security, which is chaired by President Akufo-Addo, they arrested this man illegally and tortured him. They beat him to pulp. Did the president condemn it? What happened to the modern Ghana editors? What happened to Edward Adeti of Star FM, your own colleague? What happened to Manasseh Azuri in the week of the militia in the eye of the city expose? What happened to all these cases? You have forcibly removed an auditor general from office in Rambo style. The 8th court of the land says that that was unconstitutional. And you are saying that the man who did this is an example of the rule of law. Why the Chief Justice has a different meaning of the rule of law that we don't know.
All right.
He uses a different dictionary from what we all use. And that because she is Chief Justice, she must be allowed to get away with anything she says, even if it is apparently false.
All right, Sammy Gyamfi.
Well, we cannot accept this coming from the Chief Justice. And we're saying that the occupier of that key position should clearly speak in ways that commands respect for that revered arm of government. Then
all right.
In the kind of way that this Chief Justice spoke, which has further dampened confidence in the impartiality and independence of the judiciary.
Very well, Sammy Gyamfi. I'm grateful that you've spoken to us here on News.